Now let's talk about parallelograms. These are sometimes the hardest figures to get used to placing on the coordinate plane. So let's talk about the placement of a parallelogram. You will notice here that it has been placed, so one vertex is at the origin, and one side goes along the x-axis. First, let's take a look at the definition of a parallelogram. It is a quadrilateral, it has four sides, and opposite sides are parallel. That is going to help us determine the coordinates. And it's very important to choose them wisely. Keep in mind that parallel lines have the same slope. So the slope is what's going to determine our final point in the upper right. So obviously we'll start with the origin. We're going to use the x-axis. And now this is where things start getting interesting. In the upper left, that point has no relationship to the 2 points down below. So we can use the coordinates b, y. And now we're to our final coordinate. How are we going to choose the coordinates for that fourth point? The fact of the matter is, we can't choose them. It has to be related, due to the parallel lines, to the three other points that already exist. Going back to the idea that parallel lines have the same slope, let's take a look at the slopes of the two non-horizontal lines. So the one here on the left, if we look at the slope, we take our y coordinates, y and 0, subtract them, and divide it by our x coordinates, b and 0, subtract it. So that ends up with y over b. Let's break that down into what that slope means graphically. What that means is from 0, 0, we have gone up y, and we have gone to the right b. Keep that in mind as we move over to our next point. We need to go up y from a0, which tells us that the coordinate right above that is a y. The x-coordinate hasn't changed because we just moved vertically, but the y-coordinate has changed because we have gone up y. From there, we need to move to the right b. So how do we go from a over b? Well, we simply add those two coordinates. So our x-coordinate becomes a plus b, and our y-coordinate is y. It's very important to keep in mind that the slope of the right line here has to be exactly the same as the slope of the left line. So let's take a look here. If we take y minus 0, those are our y-coordinates, and our x-coordinates are a plus b minus a down below. So if we simplify that, notice that the a minus a reduce out, leaving us with y over b. Notice that the coordinates of the fourth vertex of a parallelogram are related to the other points in the parallelogram. Of course, after you have placed your figure on the coordinate plane, you're going to want to double check to make sure you have the coordinates correct. So use the slope and distance formulas to verify that your figure is correct.